Hey guys, I just wanted to pop on here real quick to apologize for the quick nature of this last video. It was a bit rushed, but that's because I need you guys to help me keep a secret. I am not telling my husband about this YouTube channel, and I'll tell you why in a later video. I'm not doing anything sketchy. Our marriage is good. But yeah, so anyways, I had to rush and pack everything up because he was on his way home. But yeah, anyway, I hope you liked it. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and yeah, bye. Hey guys, welcome to Kara Normal. My name is Kara Thusen, and I combine my love of simple snacks and ghost attacks. So if you like to put food down your gullet and you love paranormal stories, you should subscribe. Why not? Please, I beg you. So today I'm going to be making almond crescents. It's probably my favorite dessert. That and creme brulee. I'm not a big chocolate lover, but yeah. So you can customize this recipe, but we'll get to that in a minute. So have any of you heard of spirit portals? I did a little bit of research and there's some conflicting opinions. Some people say that if you use a Ouija board, that's like a portal. You're inviting spirits in. Some people say that a Ouija board doesn't invite them in, that it's spirits that have already existed in your home. Some people say that windows, doors, and mirrors are portals. Some people say that we're portals. We just have to be more in tune with it. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Does anyone have any information on spirit portals? That's what we're gonna be talking about today. But first, let's get to the recipe. Okay, so for the crescent rolls, you're gonna need a can of refrigerated crescent rolls. You'll need 3 ounces of almond paste, but I really like this almond cake and pastry filling. You'll need a cup of powdered sugar for the glaze, 2 to 3 teaspoons of milk, and a half teaspoon of either almond or vanilla extract, whatever you have on hand. So let's get into filling our crescents. Here's photos of step-by-step on how to roll them. And after you roll them, you set your oven to 375 and you bake for 9 to 12 minutes. All right, back to the story. And we're back. This first story is submitted by Peggy. So growing up, Peggy's family home was a hotspot for paranormal activity. Pictures would fly off the wall. Clocks would turn on and off even if they didn't have a battery. She can sense people sitting next to her on the sofa and in chairs. The rocking chair in her dad's den would rock back and forth with no one in there. And as she's going up and down the stairs, she can sense people walking up and down the stairs with her. This terrified her so much as a little girl that she demanded her dad walk her up and down the stairs in the evening. Jump to her as an adult. She lives on her own. She has a daughter now, but her parents still live in this home. Around Christmas time, she goes to visit her parents to help them decorate. And in the evening, they hear this distinct playful knock at the door leading from the garage to the home. So they go and they check and no one's there. Peggy's mother and daughter are starting to get a little bit pale in the face, a little bit terrified. Peggy is as well. Soon after, they hear a man's voice in the kitchen. They go and they check the kitchen and no one's there. Then they hear dogs barking in the garage where they heard that playful knock. So they go and they check and guess what? No dogs there. Of course they're terrified, trying to make sense of it. Later, Peggy figured that the knock at the door, the playful knock, was her grandmother because her grandmother would always play little tricks on them and do playful knocks when she was alive. And so she thought that that was a sign that it was her grandma. But who is the man from the kitchen? And where did these dogs come from? Peggy's daughter's friend refused to spend the night there because one night they were having a sleepover and they were on the bunk beds and there was a hamper on the bed, and all of a sudden this hamper flew off the bed and landed directly in the middle of the floor. And of course, this little girl never wanted to come back. I wouldn't either. So Peggy consulted a medium about her parents' home, and this medium said that it was like a subway, if you will, for spirits to visit and come and go as they please. So, like a portal. So what do you think? Do you think that her parents' home was a portal? Do you have a portal in your home? This next story was submitted by Tiffany. Tiffany is actually a really good friend of mine who I've known for over 12 years. And she is such a loving, giving person. And in fact, I put out a little message on Facebook asking if anyone had any paranormal stories in preparing for this YouTube channel. And she said, "You wouldn't believe me if I told you." So of course this intrigued me, and I pushed and I pushed. And finally, she gave me the most amazing stories. She in fact has this gift that I never knew about, that she never told me about. And I know that she is not a liar. She is one of the most genuine people you will ever meet, one of the most giving people you will ever meet. Like I said, she was reluctant to even tell me about this, but she does have this gift, and I will get more into the gift that she has in a later episode because there's so many stories that I can cover, but we'll do that at a later time. Today's story. Tiffany's dad worked with this man who tragically lost his son. His son was probably in his early 20s, and Tiffany had never met this boy. Tiffany, I don't believe she even met the man that works with her dad. That evening, Tiffany has a dream, and in this dream, she's in this park-like setting. Rolling green hills, beautiful trees, and she sees that there's park benches with people having conversations, and she's in fact on a park bench. So she looks to her left and she says, "Oh, hey, Luke," as if she had known him her whole life, which she didn't. She had never met him. He greets her and she asks, "Where am I?" And he says, "You're in the visiting area." And she asks, "What's the visiting area?" And he says, "It's where spirits could talk to people on earth if you're in tune with it." And she notices he's wearing this oversized white t-shirt. So she asks him about it. And he says that it's his dad's t-shirt and he's borrowing it while he does the work. "Well, what do you want?" He says, "I need you to give my parents a message." And she says, "You give them a message. I don't even know them." And he said, I've tried and I've tried, but they can't hear me or they won't hear me. And I know that you can tell them." So she says, "Okay, what do you want me to say?" And he says, "Just tell them that I'm really, really happy. I'm working hard. And all I want is for them to go to Vegas and have fun and be happy. And just know that I am truly happy here." She's like, "Okay, I'll tell them." And he says, "Promise me. I need you to promise me you're gonna tell them." She says, "Okay, I promise, I'll tell them." So she wakes up the next morning, thought, what a weird dream. Side note, she has endometriosis, so she gets really bad cramps. So she was cramping pretty bad that day and really needed this bath to relax. She gets this prompting, "Go and tell my parents." And she's like, "I will. Calm down. I'm in pain. Like, it can wait." And he says, again, "Tell my parents." So she calls her mom, and because she doesn't know these people and she doesn't want to sound crazy, so she calls her mom and tells them to leave a message for Luke's parents and tell them that he's very happy, he's working hard, and he just wants them to be happy. So her mom does this, and later on, Tiffany gets a call from his parents. And they're both on the line, and she repeats what he had said and gives them a little bit of information of how she heard this, reluctantly, because like I said, she didn't even want to tell me any of this because she didn't want to sound crazy. And they are so thankful that she relayed that message to them. So they had a good conversation, hung up. Jump to, I don't even know how long, maybe a year or two. They go on a talk show that has a famous medium on it, and they really want to hear from Luke again. So they go on this talk show, and the medium never even acknowledges them. They refuse to leave and demand to talk to this medium. So the medium goes over, and they say, "Well, we really wanted to hear from our son Luke." And the medium says to them, "You've already received the message. I have nothing more to say." Crazy, right? So what do you think? Do you believe in mediums? Do you think Tiffany is one? I never really believed in mediums before until she told me these stories that you can't explain. They're crazy, and I cannot wait to share them with you. All right, now it's time to make the glaze. So what'd you think of that story? Okay, so now we're gonna make the glaze. So what you'll need is, like I said, powdered sugar, a couple teaspoons of cup of powdered sugar, a couple teaspoons of milk. I'm gonna eyeball it because I'm just that good. And then some vanilla or almond extract. I didn't have any almond extract, so I'm gonna use vanilla, which sucks, but I forgot to buy almond extract, so get off my back. All right, and then you're gonna whisk it together until you reach the right consistency. All right, I'm gonna come up and show you so you can see how it should look. Here it is. All right, so that's how you make the glaze. I can smell the almond crescents and I'm excited for that. So let's get back to our story and we'll come back to this. And we're back. Okay, our next story is kind of crazy. It's submitted by Laura and let's just get into it. Laura's family was traveling from Utah to Iowa to visit some family. They had a nice visit, they shared some great times, and then it was time to go. So they're on their way back from Iowa to Utah. They stop at a Cracker Barrel. I highly recommend the pecan pancakes. They're so good. That's a side note. They're at this Cracker Barrel, and inside Cracker Barrel, if you've ever been to one, they have a lot of trinkets, home decor, toys, candy, you name it. So her kids are in the back corner where the toys are and where the restrooms happen to be. And they're playing with the toys and she's watching them. And as she's walking towards them, she notices that she has to like step out of the way because there's so many people there. And she's focused on her kids and also staying out of the way of people coming back and forth. Only when she focuses on the people, there's no one there. Was she imagining this? Why is it feeling like there's so many people in here, but there isn't? So they sit down and they have their meal and Laura gets up to use the restroom. And in the restroom, she's alone. There's a wall, her stall, another stall, the sinks and mirrors. So she's the closest to the wall. So she's doing her business and she, again, there's people, tons of people walking past. And this is weird because she knew she was alone, but yet there's tons of people walking back and forth. And where are they walking to? I mean, there's one other stall. So the mood in the room, she said, became very ominous. So she wanted to get out of there. She finished her business, washed her hands, got out of there. So they finish up their meal. They buy a couple toys for the kids. On the car ride home, it's pretty quiet. And I should say her husband does not believe in anything paranormal. He is not a believer. She's had many experiences, and when she tells him he's not having it, he won't believe it. So it's quiet in the car, and her husband's driving, and he turns to her and he says, "That place is haunted, huh?" And she's like, "What? Why? Why do you say that?" And he's like, "I can't explain it, but there were just so many people in there, yet there wasn't. What do you guys think? Was this some portal in Cracker Barrel?" And the fact that her husband confirmed what she had seen made it even more real, because as a non-believer and a believer, when a non-believer actually sees what you see, it's just like, it's terrifying because your brain wants to make sense of what's happening. So you think, okay, I'm imagining this. This isn't real. Something's going on. Maybe I'm having a stroke. I don't know. The fact that he confirmed exactly what she experienced was a little too real for her. So those are our stories for today. I hope you enjoyed them. Let me know if you have experienced any type of portal in your life. I would love to hear your stories. I do have a subreddit, so please click the link in the description box and submit your story. Or if there's a story that you would like to hear, like maybe of a haunted house or a famous story that you just want me to tell, leave that in my subreddit as well.